Good evening and welcome to this edition of the Falcon Fly By. I'm Doc. I'll be your host for this entertaining hour of just plain awesomeness. Let me have a sip of my Coke here because heat index feels like it's 100 plus degrees right now. I feel like that skeleton behind me. Alright, so first thing we always do before we get into our exciting episode is talk about our sponsors. First sponsor up is MultiMold Guns. MultiMoldGuns.com. These are the gentlemen that provide Falcon Kydex Tech, Falcon Battle Systems LLC, our great mold guns. And really cool coming back off the holiday. Got our new SIG and Glock multi-mold guns. Great job again, Tony. Thank you. Appreciate it. They are being put to good use. And Grey Wolf Tactical Combat down in Florida. Want to thank them for being one of our main sponsors here for the Falcon Fly By. Chris Palmer and I apologize, Paul, for not remembering your last name. Gentlemen down there will take care of you. They're just starting out, so be sure to hit them up for any of your airsoft needs. If they don't have it on hand, they can't order it for you. So definitely show some love to your local airsoft retailer. Help those guys out, help them stay afloat, help them bring the airsoft products you want to the field you're at. So they will be our sponsors out, one of our vending sponsors out at Operation Black Dagger, along with Airsoft Junkies, and we'll get into that a little bit more. But hey, as we're talking about, let's get right into, airsoft events. Coming up here on July 23rd, starting at 11 a.m. at Georgia Airsoft, which it's in Winterville. They are having their regular scheduled walk-on rec game. Cost for this event, I do not have it on my piece of paper. I apologize for that. But definitely go and check out Georgia Airsoft. They're up in Winterville, Georgia. And it starts at 11 a.m. Then we're going to jump right to it. Operation Black Dagger, August 19th through the 21st, is at Georgia Airsoft in Winterville, Georgia. We are going up on the 23rd to meet with the field owner and some of the admin staff during that game, so you can meet myself. I will be there. Ask me any questions you have about the event, and we'll be getting all the finalization done, but the field is locked in, and we are looking forward to having a great airsoft event. Full weekend of play, 19th through the 21st. Friday, you're going to come on out, get yourself set up. We will have a chrono station available for you. So that way you can go ahead and get your guns chronoed right away. If you're running those HPA guns, you can go ahead and get those tuned because we will be locking them out so you can't adjust them on the field. So, and hey, right away, what's up, bro? Hey, Dana, how you doing, buddy? Glad you made it. For you guys that don't know, Dana, better known as Arch Rival, has been one of my fellow comrades. Since 2006, 2007, back in Michigan, him and I played airsoft. We went out to Wisconsin and played in Battle of Breedland for 4 or 5 years together. Great guy. And if you have the privilege of playing with him on the field, you're going to have a great time. So always good memories. But going back to Operation Black Dagger, I got some great news. We picked up another sponsor for this event, BG Airsoft out of Tennessee. I believe that's where they're at. I'll get the final details. I've been talking to them off and on. We're going to be Falcon Kydex is going to be sponsoring one of their events. They're going to sponsor this event, which is really awesome. I've known the gentleman that owns this. I want to say since FKT started back in 2012. So good relationship. Never met, believe it or not, face to face, but I've always talked on Facebook back and forth with one another. So again, we picked up another sponsor, so that gives us Airsoft Junkies, which is a vending sponsor. You're going to have Grey Wolf Tactical Combat out there, which is a vending sponsor. You're going to have Galactac, Ryan Flowers, the guy that makes those really cool Clash helmets, you know, the Boba Fett tack helmets that we see all over the place. He's donating one of those to us. We got Grey Wolf Tactical. It's going to be donating, I believe, a WE high cap, a pistol. Falcon Kydex is going to be setting out 3 full FKT player packs with a value of over $100 for each one of those. We also have Airsoft Junkies, who's going to be, I believe last time I talked, they're going to be donating 2 entries into Serious Viking. So again, a lot of good things happening for this event. A lot of good stuff just all around. East Coast Airsoft as well is going to send us a couple of their gift cards, so they're donating for the raffle. So it's going to be a good time. Have a good raffle set up. Enola Gay Smoke Grenades as well is going to donate some swag for this event. So definitely want to give a big shout out to everybody who's coming together, making this event happen. A lot of hard work, dedication is being poured into this. You know, the fiasco we went through a couple weeks ago, overdone within the past, not even concerned about it anymore. We're picking up, moving forward. Price for this is $50. You can go right to if you go to Falcon Kydex Tech's Facebook page, go into our store. You scroll down a little bit, you'll see where the registration is right there for this op, and you can go ahead and purchase your tickets right there. And as soon as you purchase your tickets, we'll go ahead and we'll put you onto the planning forums. Also, just to give you a little insight, we have the AK Assassin coming out from California. She is the green side commander, I believe, if I'm correct. Somebody, Andrew, if you're looking, can you verify for me? I don't have my other device with me to look that stuff up. However, from Brent, who is one of the TAC Taylor guys, they're out there in Washington State. Hopefully he'll be out here. He's going to be the XO for that team. And then the other CO-XO combination for the other team is P90 Girl, and we have Justin from Airsoft Junkies Third Coast Airsoft, who is going to be her XO. So again, we got some really good people. We're going to be doing some live interviews, some live filming from the event, during the event. So definitely hit this up. I know there's a lot of events we're going to talk about them that are just in this span within the next 2.5 months. Just to give you an insight to that, we go right down. We have Operation Broken Arrow 2 from Tog Milsim. Cost is $85 a ticket, but if you want to save $10, what we can do for you is if you sign up for Operation Black Dagger, what we do is when we find out you're going over, and yeah, I'm going to be at that event too, and you're going to sign up for Broken Arrow 2, all you got to do is let them know, say, hey, here's my receipt for Black Dagger, and you save $10. Yes, we will be there. Yes, FKT is one of the sponsors for that event. I will be the CEO of the green team. I'm looking forward to it. Tickets right now are $85 a piece, so you can save $10 and save yourself a little bit of change. It's going to be at the Tar Heel Missile Plant in Burlington, North Carolina, August 26th through the 28th. So that awesome facility we got to play in before, earlier in the year, we're going to get one more chance to have a go around at it and play in that one as well. Thank you. Yes, Airsoft has me, or the AK Assassin is the Tan Team CO. Thanks, Andrew. Then we go right into it. Operation Serious Viking from Third Coast Airsoft, Darlington, South Carolina, September 16th through the 18th. So again, you've got 3 amazing events coming up within a 2-month window. So definitely try to hit all 3 if you can. These are going to be awesome events. And the more we work together as event planners, the better we can plan series of events so they kind of fall in line with each other and whatnot. So again, a lot of good events going on. And then we go and Tog is looking forward already to 2017. We have Fragile Sovereignty 2 from Tog Milsim, Adventure Beach Airsoft, January 13th through the 15th, 2017. And more info is to come on that. However, you can go, you can find the event, mark interested so you can see what's going on. You can watch the planning. I know I plan on being there. Hopefully FKT will be a sponsor for that event as well. Again, gonna be a great event. And then we have East Coast Airsoft, which is up north here in the northeast seaboard and northeast coast here. And they have Night Ops 2. They did this, I think a couple months, like 1 or 2 months ago. July 23rd, starting at 6 p.m. and it will end at 12 a.m. And yes, FKT will be one of the sponsors. We're gonna send up 3 more prize packs, so that way players up there. It's going to be at Robin Hood Paintball, which is at Harveen D. Grace, Maryland, and the price is $25 per player. I don't think anything has really changed during that time, so definitely be able to check that out. Gonna hit a little bit on the airsoft side before I go into my rant. As you guys notice, usually during part of the show I go on a little bit of a rant and discuss some things in the media that's been going on. And you get my side of it. And Thank you, Danny. I like it right there. You guys see it here first. Danny Johnson, who is the head guy for Tog Milsim, just said if FKT wants to be a sponsor for Fragile Sovereignty 2, it is a done deal. Yes, Danny, appreciate it. FKT will be there in full force. So some of the things on the airsoft side, we are going through the individual orders and getting those done as quickly as we can. We're at the final stages. I would say this is the 33% left that I have to finish on our big 200 plus piece order that we've been working on for the last month. We just had our holiday weekend, so we're coming off. I just put together and rough cut it around 15 holsters. We're molding out more all the time. So I have one in the press right now. I have Kydex waiting in the oven. So again, we're rolling through orders as quickly as we can. International orders, please bear with me. I am moving as quickly as I can on you guys. I'm trying to get them all done so I can do it all at one time and get those all out to you guys so I don't have little individual international orders going out at one time. So the orders are moving quite well. We do have our basket system set up. We have new orders in them. We're ready to rock and roll. So bear with me. I will be reaching out to you guys and letting you know what's going on. We do have a few more prize packs. We're getting a couple of them in from the last night op game that happened up there in Maryland. So that's good. So we are working on those, and like I want to reiterate to you guys that player packs take back seat to everything else we have going on. So that's us doing something nice for the airsoft community. Please bear with us. Please reach out and do contact Falcon Kydex Tech. Let us know, say, hey, I was at this event, I won this, and I just sent it out to you. So that way I have your name in our messenger queue, and when we start working on it, I can shoot you a message and say, hey, I just started working on your prize pack. When we're done, I can take a picture and send it to you as well. And then when we ship it out, we send you another picture of your tracking number, so that way you have your tracking information. We do that with all orders now. Also, for our international orders, the new thing we're doing is we're going to do it by video. So I'm going to take a little video and I'm going to say, hey, Joe Smith over there in France, here's your package. Everything's boxed up. Here's your label. It's on there. We go to the post office. We get everything taken care of. When I come out with that receipt that shows the tracking number and the date and time it shipped, I'll film another video and send that to you as well, so you have confirmation that your package has been put into the hands of UPS, or United States Postal Service, USPS. And they have it from there, so you can start tracking and your tracking number is active. That's going to be our new policy moving forward with international orders. The lady today told me when I went to ship out one order that was going to Japan, she's like, oh, put it in a regular box and we can insure it, and it would only be $23.95 without tracking. Well, we all know how reliable the Postal Service is, and if you don't have that tracking number, you can't hold them reliable if something comes up missing. So this just helps keep them in line, and if you're shipping anything international, make sure you send that tracking number and you get that tracking number. A little bit more expensive, but it's worth it in the long run for your customers. So that's what I have there. So my rant, I think it was last week in the media, we saw this thing where the co-founder of Black Lives Matter made the comment that saying all lives matter as a hashtag bothered them, and it was racist. So I'm trying to figure this out. Isn't the point of saying Black Lives Matter same difference as saying all lives matter? Because in my eyes, all lives matter. I don't have an issue with what color your skin is, where you come from, your sexuality. I could give two shakes of a whistle for that. Really don't care. But I will tell you this. If you come at me with some Black Lives Matter bullshit, I'm going to crush you in a heartbeat with any argument you try to bring to me. We saw it that, I can't even remember my name and his name, and for you guys that are tuned in, that have girlfriend and wives that watch Grey's Anatomy, you know who I'm talking about. He won the Humanitarian Award on the BET Awards. Well, what's not racist about BET? We don't have a channel called WET, White Entertainment Television, or CET, Caucasian Entertainment Television, because if we did that, then we would be racist. All right? And my wife just posted his name there because my wife knows what we're talking about. So within freedom of speech, First Amendment, yeah, he can say what he wants. But what he was doing was going out and saying, put a bullseye in the back of cops. I hate to tell you that if you're a criminal, you deserve everything coming to you, regardless of your color. All right? He went on there saying that white people jump on the coattails of black and we drain their entertainment value, or just so much bullshit that it actually made my brain hurt. You know, I felt like one of those sketches from Monty Python where the guy goes, "My brain hurts." That's exactly what it felt like, listening to him talk. And I'm trying to figure out how he got a humanitarian award, but then they tell you what he got a humanitarian award for. All his help with Black Lives Matter. So if I want to put hashtag White Lives Matter, I'm a racist and a bigot all of a sudden. But if I put a hashtag, or if I put a hashtag of All Lives Matter, I'm a racist and a bigot. And the only way you can support Black Lives Matters is being black and identifying as black. Well, that doesn't quite work, because I'm going to tell you right now, you know how many people think I'm Hispanic because of my skin tone? I don't have a problem with that. I'll let you know that, hey, I'm not Hispanic, I'm Italian. That's where the dark skin tone comes from. If you look at all my kids, they all have the olive tint, olive skin tone. That's a trait of Italians. So I have a problem with this. So I'm going to go on a little further, because now we've also heard of how we've oppressed everybody, or my white privilege, which I'm still trying to find. I have not found white privilege anywhere. There's no credit card. Okay, there's nothing in my bank account that says white privilege account. So I'm still trying to figure that one out. But we go back, and in all of this, they talk about slavery and how we, as, I'm going to use Europeans, but I'm going to give you a little facts and a little bit of knowledge here. We as Europeans have white privilege, and we were the only slave owners. But what they forget is in the 1600s, African Americans had white and black slaves. African and European slaves. Now, oh my gosh, we look at that and we go, what? Are you serious? White? European slaves? No, that can't be. Yes, it is. And what's funny as well is this person in particular, and you can research it, comes up, and you can look at it. His name is Anthony Johnson. Back in the 1600s in Virginia, okay? The man was actually on a ship of Arabian or Arabic slave traders. We can discuss that later, because that gives us a little bit more insight. So he was picked up on a ship, and then he was sold to a merchant at that time. We'll call him a slave merchant. We're going to use generalized terms here, because they called it indentured servitude. So you have a contract, whatever the cost is, to bring you from over in Africa, what it costs to bring you over in Africa, to bring you to this to this plantation to work, and it's 4 to 7 years, and in some cases it was a little longer. But once you served that time, you became a free man. You were given land from the colony, 250 acres. You were given the equipment to improve the land. All right? So I'm going to give you a little bit here. Anthony Johnson, he was a colonist in Virginia known as the Black Patriarch of the first community of Negro property owners in America. Okay? We're talking 1600s. And slavery has a track back all the way to the 15s and 1400s. And we can go back even further if we look at the Crusades, because slavery was even back then. Okay? And we can hit on all that. But I want to drop a little bit of knowledge here. Anthony Johnson was captured by an enemy tribe and sold to Arab slave traders. So an enemy tribe in Africa, which I'm guessing is African, same skin tone, just from a different tribe. Here we go, people. Here's that little bit of fact where black lies, and that's what I call them, Black Lives Matter, or Black Lives Matter, don't tell you the whole story. So his own race, his own color, sold him to Arab slave traders. Sold him. So you want to talk about first slave owners? You need to go back and do your history lesson, Black Lives Matters, and take a look at it. So let's go a little further. And as I put, oh my God, not just white slave owners, Arab, black slave owners in the 1600s was known as an indentured servant in 1621. So we're in the 1600s. So he came across here from Arab slave traders. They brought him over here to America, to the colonies, and sold him to, at that time, they called a master. That's just how it was. The plantation owner. He just happens to be white. Okay? But I'm gonna hit you with a little bit more here because it gets a little deeper than this. We can't just stop there. If you're gonna tell part of the story, you gotta tell the whole story. So his contract was from between 4 to 7 years, which at the end he was released from his contract and labeled as a free man. He was free. He did his time. He had to pay for the service of him being brought over, and you can't call it a service, but the travels of him coming over, room and board, and keeping him healthy so he could keep working, that had to be paid for. Okay, so him working was what paid for that. When he was released, he was given land and equipment. Also at this time, most white, and let me go a little further, let me say it again, white laborers also came to the colony as servants, as slaves. So let's take a step back. Let's think about this here. So it's not just African Americans or Africans at that point, because they didn't quite have that title of African American. That I'll do some research and let you know when that term or title, whatever you want to call it, came about. So we have black and white laborers, indentured servants or slaves for the general term, at the same time in the colonies of America, in Virginia, in the 1600s. Huh. It's funny, they don't tell you that part when Black Lives Matter goes on their little protest or on their little speech or take a stage over, because it's not their narrative to tell the whole entire story or to tell the truth. It's to tell how, oh, we're oppressed. You're not oppressed. Fix your situation, and I bet if you fixed your situation, got an education, and got a job, guess what? Your situation would change. But then again, you would end up driving a BMW or a Mercedes, and I'm sure that wouldn't be good enough for you, and you would blame it on somebody else. Anyways, let's get back to this here. So, Anthony almost lost his life in an Indian massacre in 1622. So the Native Americans, and we know that story, we can play that game all day long as well. The Native Americans were still trying to repulse or kick out the European settlers. That's history. All right? The plantation he was on was attacked and he almost died. In 1635, I'm sorry, I'm going to jump a little bit ahead here. Anthony also has a wife by the name of Mary. She came over as a servant onto the same plantation. They got married. They served their time. And in 1635, they were granted their freedom from their contract. Okay? He was granted a large portion of land in 1651, over 250 acres. Where in the world can somebody get 250 acres that the government just says, here you go. Here's the equipment to farm it. He also bought 5 other slaves. Okay, now here's where we got to take a step back, because I'm sure at this point, again, history and research, and it's amazing. Google is your friend. Use Google. Google, Ask.com, Yahoo, they're all great. Google's the top one up there. But get this. He bought five slaves. But 4 of them were white. So he bought, him being African, as his wife and his child, he bought 5. One of the black slaves that he purchased was his son. So he could buy out that contract, which is well within his rights at this time. But he also bought 4 white slaves. 4 white slaves. But again, it's all about blacks. It's all about African Americans and how they've been oppressed. Research, history, it's right there. It's fact. So in 1651, Anthony was still owning an African slave by the name of John Kaiser. Now this slave fulfilled his contract 7 years prior, and Anthony didn't want to tell him about his contract being fulfilled. So this now, what would be considered a free man, went and talked to the neighbor of Anthony and said, Anthony Johnson, and said, hey, I want to come work for you. You know, my contract is done over here. I want to work for you now. And sure enough, that guy was like, all right, no problem. But what was funny was, I'm going through my notes here. The courts ruled that Anthony still owned that black slave. Then it was overturned, then it got overturned again, and Anthony still owned that black slave. So we need to think about this for a little bit. How is it that African Americans today, and not all of them feel this way, but there is a group of them that feel this way, feel oppressed because of slavery? Because I'm dying to know. Because history just taught us about Anthony Johnson, who was a servant, who was a slave on a contract, a 4 to 7 year contract. That was how it was, because the trip for them over had to be paid for, and that's how they worked that off to come to the colonies. So how is it that this group feels oppressed? Because if we follow Anthony Johnson's story, he got married, he bought more slaves, and 4 of them were white, and the one African American slave that he bought was his son's contract. He just bought out his son's contract. So at that point, he saved his son. I'm sure his son had to work on the farm or the plantation back then as well. I mean, that's how farm families are. But he kept buying more slaves, both black and white. So again, I don't think anybody in this generation, my generation, the generation before me, the generation ahead of me or after me, and so on and so forth, can pin down a relative that was a slave. The only reason why you feel oppressed is because you want everybody else to do the work for you. You're too lazy to do the work you need to do to better yourself. You want handouts. You want that government handout. Now, legitimately, there are people out there that need that assistance. And I don't have a problem with them. I'm talking to the career welfare. The career mamas that go out there and have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 kids. And can't take care of them, but yet the state keeps paying them more and more money. I saw the coolest thing ever on my way back from Michigan this weekend was a sign on a business that states, "We do not accept EBT," in parentheses, food stamps. I thought that was great. I was like, you know, more businesses need to be that way. It's abused. There's career people on those systems, and they know how to use them. They know how to abuse the system. And that's part of our problem. That's why this country keeps going down and down and down. Everybody wants to talk about Black Lives Matter. You're right. Black lives matter. White lives matter. Asian lives matter. Purple lives. Yellow lives. You name it. They all matter. Humans matter. Okay? Human lives matter. But what's really funny is I don't see you getting your panties in a bunch when there's massacres and genocide over in Africa. If you're so repressed and so oppressed because of what happened with slavery, Why aren't you opening your mouth with what's going on over in Africa right now, and the genocide and the murder and the massacres that happen over there right now? Oh, that's right. It doesn't affect you. You don't care about that because that doesn't have a direct correlation to what your agenda is and what your mission is. See, Black Lives Matter, here's the thing. We know what your mission is. We know what your agenda is. We knew it from the very beginning. You have this thing where you think cops are just blatantly after you. Well, guess what? They're not. You commit a crime, you're damn straight they're after you. You break the law, you're damn straight they're after you. That's their job. And all this bullshit, this fourth whatever, free inhabitant shit, you know what? Take that shit somewhere else. You think because you read a couple court cases or your liberal arts professor told you something in class that you're going to be able to beat the system? Have fun with that. The media and the liberal agenda has literally screwed with the minds of my generation, a good portion of my generation, and the generations to come. We take everything on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter as fact. Nobody does any research. Nobody looks at dates from postings or who's making the comment. But they believe it. You see the stupid people all the time. Go on YouTube. Type stupid people. They pop up everywhere. They do. Take responsibility for you. And Black Lives Matters, that's what you will always be. All lives matter, and that will be the hashtag all the time for me and people like me. It's not just one race. That's the problem, is you think it's one race against everybody else. You refuse to listen to anybody else. You think you're the only way, your way is the right way, but that's not true all the time. It's called compromise. Just because you have an idea and I have an idea, yours isn't always right and neither is mine, but I bet if we sat down and talked about it, we could come to a compromise. You got to change the way you think. You got to change the way you act. Cops are not after you. Stop doing stupid shit and they wouldn't be. That's the problem. Oh, look, we're going to put this on YouTube. How smart does it make you look when you're posting your fights all over Facebook and all over YouTube? I'm sorry, but when I see that kind of stuff, I laugh. I think it's hilarious because it dumbs you guys down. And it dumbs African Americans down as a people. Because this is what other countries see all the time. Because we got, oh, I'm going to post this on World Star. Who cares? If you took more time away from trying to beat the hell out of one another for no apparent reason and spent more time staying in school and paying attention, I guarantee your situation would start to turn around. I bet it would. Hard work, determination, stop being lazy, get off your ass and do something. And no, I don't mean go commit a crime. What I mean is when shit gets tough, you figure out how to work through it. You think about it. You just don't snap judgment. Well, I'm just going to go rob the store with my homeboys. Well, guess what? As you're starting to learn, more and more of us carry. And it doesn't work out so well for you. So don't be stupid. You end up in that black zipper bag that's about 6 to 8 feet long in the coroner's office, laying on your back on a steel table so they can do their autopsy on you before they put you in a box and put you in the ground. So think about it. Now let me look at some of my comments on here. Justin, I do agree with you. It goes both ways. You're absolutely right. But the problem is I don't hear a lot of white people yelling they're oppressed and starting riots when they don't get the verdict they want. We look at Ferguson. We look at, Baltimore. They're sitting there threatening they're going to burn the place down. They're going to loot. Why would you loot businesses in your own area, in your own neighborhoods? That's not a peaceful protest. And I'll tell you this right now. Block the highway while I'm driving. If the cops aren't going to move you, I'll move you myself. It's a federal crime for you to block traffic on a highway, any roadway. Just because you lock arms, you've seen it more and more. These people are just driving right through you, and that's what's going to happen. Stop being ignorant. Stop following the masses and think for yourself. You'd be amazed what you'll find out there if you just go ahead and sit down for a minute and think about it. Hell, if you got to write the problem out, even if you can't write it, you got to put it in zeros and ones so you understand binary. That's what you need to do. Because a peaceful protest is not bashing in windows, shooting at cops, throwing rocks at cops. That's not a peaceful protest. Martin Luther King, that was a peaceful protest. I guarantee you that man is rolling around in his grave right now going, what the hell is going on? This is not what I fought for. But you just keep doing the stupid stuff. Because the ignorance shows when you look on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, you name it, you can find the stupidity everywhere. And it's not narrowed down to just one race. I've seen it all over the place. Of course, I really haven't seen a dumb Asian American. But maybe that's a stereotype, and I apologize to anybody in my viewing audience that's Asian American. But again, it goes for all races. All lives matter. Human lives matter. Not this pick a race and we're the only ones that matter, because you don't. You're not just the only group of people that matter. And I will continue to post all lives matter hashtags. I will continue to post blue lives matter. You know, you have this war on the cops. I'm going to tell you right now, you don't think they know where you guys at, where you're at, where you concentrate at, where the majority of you live? They do. They can lock that whole area down. Then what are you going to do? What are you going to scream about then? You've got to stop. You work with the cops, not against them. I believe this 100%. If you work with the cops, it's called community policing. And you take an active role, no matter where you live, and you take an active role of working with the police in your community, the police in your community will become a part of your community. They will take more ownership in your community to want to make sure that community is safe. But if you're threatening them and you got people popping off at the mouth, you know, saying I got a, what was it, saying I got a something in my trunk for Trump or whatever, a chopper in my trunk, that's a motorcycle, so figure out a new term. That's when cops turn around and they don't care. Believe it or not, they don't care at that point. You got to work with them, not against them. You know, the violence that we've seen in rallies, political rallies, it's amazing. Nobody can seem to have an actual conversation without raising their voice and trying to overtalk everybody else. Stop that. Sit at a table, have a cup of coffee and a donut, and talk. Everybody has a different point of view. That's what makes this country great. I don't agree with everybody I talk to. And I'll be the first one to tell you. If I think you made a stupid comment, I'll call you out on it. I have no problem doing it. Perfect example. I was talking to a person on Facebook today that I went to high school with. They posted a picture that says, if you can't afford an 18%, and they added quotes, a tip, and in quotes it says 18%, something along those lines, then you should not go out to eat. Well, that's what a server thinks. I gave the customer side of it, and they didn't like it. But at least the discussion and the dialogue was there. That's what needs to take place. Common sense in this country has literally walked out the door. So we need to bring that back. And yes, I'm sure there were quite a few panties in a bunch on this one. But hey, I just, you know, I call it as I see it. It's my opinion. If you don't like it, you don't have to listen into it. But like Tony says from the Blaze, this is my thoughts. Agree to disagree. You know, I like comments on these videos. I like to hear what you guys have to say. You know, I try to give you a little bit of both. Some airsoft, some kydex, some shooting comps that are going on in the area. And then I give you a little bit of the rant stuff. What was the other thing? Oh, and before we go, let's talk about this great thing. The FBI, and we recommend no charges filed against Hillary Clinton. But yet, we found secret, top secret, and whatever the one above that is, all on our email server, but yet, which all of that, as if you're not going to hit her with the felonies, are all misdemeanors, but we're not going to indict her. because we feel no prosecutor would take the case. But Rudolph Giuliani, who was a prosecutor in New York, said I would have no problem taking that case to court. How much faith do we have in the FBI? They can't stop terror attacks. They can't track weapons that they sold in a botched arms deal, and we all know that, Fast and Furious, right? We all saw that happen. So, it's going to be a very interesting election, everyone. I would say grab your tinfoil helmet, a beer, and strap in, because it's going to be a bumpy ride. And it's just one of those things. And it is what it is, and excuse me, I'm not going to tell you who to vote for or which way, but I'm telling you, we can't take 4 more years of a liberal Democrat in office. That's personally my opinion. People disagree with me, and that's perfectly fine, but not going to be a good thing. So, one more thing on a good note, we'll end here. Don't forget that we have the promo code JulyFKT, saves you 20% on your entire order of Kydex items. However, our tiered sale going right now, if you have $100 or more in Kydex items, you get one of our free Tac Assist folding knives, really nice knives. And if it's an order $200 or more, you get a free M-Tech tactical hatchet, which is really cool as well. And you can use the promo code with those deals as well, so it all kind of works together. So, hey, gift ideas, you need a new range setup, holster, whatever, we can do it for you. But those are the 2 deals we have going on, and the 2 tiered deals, the $100 and $200 ones, we're doing those to the end of the year. So, it just... Again, it's a great way to stack up on Kydex stuff or get that whole new setup that you want, because you can go ahead, you can put that promo code into the end of July, which is JulyFKT, and that'll save you 20% off your entire order. And we always do free shipping on all our orders. Any order that is going over to overseas, so off our borders obviously, we do charge flat rate shipping for those. I try to cover half, you guys cover the other half. But any order over $500 will be shipped for free when it's an international order. So, again, I want to thank everybody for showing up for this episode of the Falcon Flyby. And we'll see you guys next week. We're shooting for Sunday of next week because, as we know, we got 9-month wait for Game of Thrones for Season 7. So, literally sitting here twiddling my thumbs, working on Kydex. And Justin Major, if he's still on, he is the EXO for the side, I believe it's the Dinesh side, with P90 Girl. So he is the EXO and P90 Girl is the CO. So definitely get signed up for that event. It's going to be a fun time, like I said. We're going to have a great time. It's going to be, get the community together, meet new people, talk, have a good time. And yes, Tony. And so August 19th through the 21st will be Operation Black Dagger. Again, this is Doc for FKT and Falcon Battle Systems LLC for the Falcon Flyby, saying, hey, stay cool out there, have a good one, stay safe, and I'll see you on Sunday.